Mander, I can't pet you right now. If I do, Sugar will go after you. Hi, Lisa. Yeah, Sugar will go after you if I do. So we're not doing that. Jasmine, you're giving me a crook on my neck there, girl. She's planted herself on my neck. What are you doing? You know, if I wanted to be a wood chip factory, I would ask you to make me a wood chip factory. Bob. 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 He's determined to chew up all the wood that's in here right now, aren't you? Aren't you? Mm, big boy. Hi, Jocelyn. Yeah, there. Whoops. Where'd we go? Oh, there. She's taking a nap. The tip of girl. Sugar? No. Leave him alone. Lucy, you sensitive little thing. Oh, thank you. That's just what I wanted. Come over and
Thanks for
poop
a
on my
present.
arm. Yeah. Mander came over and
Kind.
pooped on my arm. Bob, leave it alone. Bob, no. The paper isn't for you. Silly bird. Yeah, silly boy. Yeah, I thought we'd just do the same topic this time because we didn't get to go through it last time. It was a little too wild in here. Did you just kill that piece of wood?
Who killed the piece of wood?
Bob.
Bob. I'm
Oh,
sure
you.
he had no bad intentions.
No, he doesn't. Yeah.
The killer cockatoo.
So maybe we greet some of our viewers. So I'm not sure, Don, are you still here?
Mentally, no, but physically, yes.
Because the picture was gone for a moment, but I'm not sure if it's only at my place.
It's fine
So,
for me.
okay, then it's probably only for me. Then let's greet some of our chatters. So welcome to Lisa Banerjee, Jocelyn Triggle, Angels Live, Falcon Sue, and Calvin Thurston. Hope I forgot
And
nobody.
Spirit Matter as well. Hello, everyone.
Oh, Spirit Matter. So hello, Spirit.
Hey, everybody.
And Angel's Life is asking after April. So if anyone knows how April is doing, then please post an update in our live chat. Because I don't think we've heard from her in a little while either. So
No, we haven't.
I know she'd been having some health problems, but if anyone has any up-to-date information, please do let us know.
What are you doing? Bob and the Toothpick Factory. Hey, that's my head you're beating on. Not you. I can't pet you. Oh, she's over there. I can pet you now. She's getting preened by Cecil. I can't pet Mander until Sugar has relinquished her eyes off of him. Because she keeps an eye on him in the beginning, and if he gets petted while she's looking, then she goes after him. So, but she's getting preened now. So, right, Mander? Hmm? You haven't figured it out yet, have you? Hmm? Uh-huh. Now, when you start going on that side, I know why you're there. So go back over here. Don't laugh. No, I don't want you on that side because I know what you're going to do. You're looking to get the little cases for the AirPods. No, those aren't AirPods, but they're Bluetooth earpieces. What are you doing? Yeah, he's smart. He'll sit there and play, and then when he thinks I'm not paying attention, he switches over to try to get into my pocket. Right, Mander? Jasmine, what's up with you? Mm-hmm. Pet the Jasmine too. Yeah, that's Mander. He came right out today. He wanted to go outside. It's a little chilly. Yesterday it was just windy as just I'll get out. I wasn't sure if that was the big test of my net out there, whether the net would still hold up, and it did. So the net to keep the wild birds out. Although I'm thinking about expanding it and getting it around the doorway, so when I come out, I don't have to worry as much because if the birds get in, fly into that net, they're not going anywhere. So it might be a cheap way to make a little channel to the aviary too.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea, I think.
Yeah, that wouldn't take much to do. I have to be careful not to bother the bird. There is a nesting pair of house finches that come here every year on that side, but they don't come under here. So, and they're far enough away, I don't have to worry about it. All right, big boy, what do you say? What do you say? What do you say over there, little girl? Hmm? Hmm? Jazzy Jazzbird. Bob, don't try to get the paper out of my pocket. I can see you're doing that. Don't do it. Ah, ah, ah. Don't you be a sneak. Well, when talking about birds being cute, this one, when I used to take them to the Renaissance Fair, they do have one here, but it's an hour and a half away, and I'm not driving over the mountain to go to it. But um, it was fun to watch him interact with kids because he he's just great with kids. He wouldn't trust him here with them. When he's in his territory, he's not so good. But he was fun. He bounces up and down and does all of his songs and dances and does all kinds of things when he's out and about. Don't you? Another cute thing he does is if I have to take him to the vet or something along that line, if he's in that front cage in the van and I put on some music with the right beat, he'll start dancing. And he's a really good dancer, aren't you? Aren't you, Bob? Are you a good dancer? Is Bob a good dancer? Hmm? I mean, he does all kinds of moves. He shakes his head and he does whooping sounds along with the music. And don't you, Bob? Hmm? He's also cute when he first meets somebody because he'll go into that high pitched voice. Hi. Not quite as long as Sugar's. Hi. But don't you, big boy? Those are the kind of behaviors you want to reinforce too, so you get more of them. We tend to reinforce the bad ones without realizing it, but when I say bad, I mean ones we don't like. They aren't necessarily bad behaviors in their world, but they're behaviors that we don't appreciate quite as much. Right, Bob? He likes to test people. He gets to know you a little bit, and then he tests you by nipping you a little to see how you react. If you don't react much, then he won't do it again. Right, Bob? And he doesn't do that when he's out and about. If you keep telling him he's a good bird, first he kind of has his head down. Then he starts looking you in the face, and I think it's really if he accepts the fact that you mean it, then he starts bouncing his head. It's cute. You can get him to do that just by calling him a good boy. Bob's a good bird. Yeah, he's too busy now. Ah, Bob's a good bird. Bob's a good bird. Bob's a good bird. No, Bob's not going in my pocket though. But Bob is a good bird. Bob, I have to turn the camera this way to try to get it on him. Babaloo. Jasmine's one of her cute behaviors is with new people too. You won't hear her talk much, but she has a extensive vocabulary, and when there's somebody new around and she likes them, or obviously she's attracted to them some way, she starts going off in English, and it is perfect reproduction of human voice too. The first time I heard it, I thought, "Where's the other person in here?" Because I didn't even know she could talk. She's quiet most of the time. She'll talk when she truly wants some attention, won't you, girl? All right, you're gonna make it hard for me to focus on you. So
Did we lose the sound a bit? I think.
I don't know. I'm not talking.
Oh, oh
I
no.
was just looking at the birds, and
I
I
couldn't
have.
hear talking, and I couldn't hear birdie noises either.
Oh well, sometimes it blocks those. I can't. It sort of cuts out background sounds. I don't think there's a way to fix that. Let me look. Uh, just to make sure. Nope. It only has two settings. One is echo cancellation, and the other one is automatically adjust the mic volume. So neither one of those has anything to do with cutting out background sounds. Yeah. What are you doing? All right, I'll switch the camera while you're doing this, but that means you're just going to move. Yes, this is the one I was told. Don't let her sit on your shoulder. No, no, you mustn't let her sit on your shoulder. You are just maniacal. You get out here and you think you just get a million pets, don't you? Huh? Well, she's not looking. She doesn't seem to care now, so I can pet you. Did I get your ear? I did. This one feather is close to his ear, so makes him yawn. Manner's got all kinds of cute behaviors, don't you? Like the fact that he shakes his head. Uh, he shakes his head when he means yes, and he nods when he means no.
Well, that's typical of Mando. He's just confused about what to do all the time. Gets everything the wrong way around.
Yeah, once you realize it, like if I go and say you want to go outside and he shakes his head yes, you know, I should say he nods his head. That means no. If you keep asking him, he'll just turn his back to you, and if you keep asking after that, he'll climb to the bottom of the cage. So, won't you? Won't you? You big monster. What are you doing, boy? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm preening his feathers rather than petting him at this point. I think that's what he wants, but see if we get an extinction burst from the person over there yelling, "Is anyone home?" I'm surprised none of the birds have said hello back. Bob could have done it. But nope, they just drive away. That is kind of odd to pull up someone's home and just yell, "Is anybody home?" Only in Nevada. Nope, it
Do
would go
you
down
guys
as
not
well.
have doorbells in Nevada?
Well, there was no. I don't think so. There was no doorbell on this house.
Mm.
Um, I tried the electronic ones; they didn't work. Now I've got an old Victorian type that you turn the knob on the outside, and then it rings the bell on the inside. I won't be able to hear it everywhere in the house, but I couldn't hear it with those electronic ones. They're just not loud enough anyway. And they don't work every time, so people would press a button and leave because they figured I wasn't home. But, if there's vans in the carport, hello, I'm here, right? Mander, is that enough? Hmm? And I'm going to switch the camera, so bear with me a second. It's not the easiest. I'm hoping they eventually change this so you can just switch the camera from one screen. I have to go through like 5 different places, but Bob, it would have been funny if you'd yelled back.
Yeah. Oh, Dawn, Lisa wants to know what the temperature is with you. And she says it's 54 in Washington State.
Yeah, it's 58 here, Fahrenheit. If it was 58 centigrade, I'd be, cooking out here, but
You would not be outside if it were 58 Fahrenheit.
not for long. Not with the birds for sure. Oh, Lucy's all fired up. Oh, that's Cecil all fired up. Cecil, did you see somebody out there? Nah, he's got a little feather sitting up on his head too. Now, Mandra's kind of a magician. You give him a large pine cone, and you look back in 5 minutes, and there's nothing left of it except tiny little pieces that have gone through the bars to the bottom of the cage, to the tray. He's a magician. He's the David Copperfield of the cockatoo world.
He can make things disappear.
Bob can do that with keyboards. I haven't seen it myself, but I've heard tell. I've seen him take one key off a keyboard once. Of course, I stopped him immediately. I just put it back on, but he hadn't. They usually come off without breaking. So apparently, one of the people who tried to adopt him left him alone in an office for an hour. Didn't work out well. No keys left on any of the keyboards. We
I
believe
mean,
that
I
the
wouldn't
person.
leave Bob alone in an office for 1 minute, let alone 1 hour.
Yeah, yeah. What's that song? People are stupid. I didn't know. Maybe they didn't write that song, but somebody should. I mean, that's you don't leave you don't leave an animal in a room like that. Even a dog or a cat's kind of questionable in that
Yeah,
situation. But
it's sort of a room temperature IQ move, isn't it?
hmm? I'm sorry. What was that you said?
I said it's sort of a room temperature IQ kind of move, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah. And then the next place they sent him was a daycare center. Somebody to rent a daycare center out of their house.
I mean, to be fair, Bob does need daycare.
He didn't do. I mean, he didn't hurt anybody or anything, but he just got louder and louder because he had to shout over the kids, right? I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. I think they were just trying to get him away from them somehow. But do you know Bob? Do you? It's funny they used to when they did at one time they said that they had him outwork the clientele could see him. I'm surprised they didn't damage his beak like they did Lucy, but um, they stopped doing that because he kept stealing someone's Cheetos. That sounds like Bob, so it's probably true.
Yeah.
He's a sneak boy. He's good at it. He just does a little illusions to get your mind away from things. It's just oh, I'm just sitting on your lap. Then I move to the other side. Then I just gotta put my head down towards your pocket. Is the way it goes to see if you react, and just keeps playing that. He's got a lot. He's just no. He wasn't doing anything there. I don't think. I think maybe though. Yeah. He grabbed my pocket there. He's making it look like he's using the my body to hold the wood so he can chew it, but he can do it without putting it against me. So silly bird. And he is a lot of fun. And a lot of the behaviors, if you try to capture the good behaviors, the ones that you consider good, because there are no good and bad behaviors. They're just behaviors the birds have learned to try to deal with their life. So try to get some control. There are behaviors we can't tolerate, and so we call those bad. But fighting is one of them, but it's not one of the things that they normally do in the wild. So we have to blame humanity for that. Sometimes it's the breeders who train them to bite. Now you hear the owl?
Tweet, tweet.
Yeah, there's an owl. You don't usually hear them in the daytime, but there's an owl we hear quite frequently out here. We'll probably be hearing baby owls soon.
Yeah, my baby owl just tried to contribute. I turned on my microphone so I could say something, and then she goes, "Oh, sweetie."
As my dad said, you spend the first 2 years trying to get him to talk, and the rest of your life trying to get him to shut up. So,
Can I make her shut up before she started to talk? Can I just skip that bit?
well, my dad had the answer for that too. It's silence is golden, but duct tape is silver, right, Bob? I don't. It's funny. A lot of the times when they're going off, I don't even really hear it. I mean, I have earbuds in right now that don't do the sound conditioning the way I'd like it, but I have some that will knock out 30 decibels, but they're still loud. I don't even hear them. And if I'm talking on the phone to somebody, they'll say, "What? How can you stand that noise?" I go, "What noise?" And it's not all the fact that my ears are, obviously damaged, but
I mean, if you were profoundly deaf, then I guess no, you wouldn't hear them. But
mm-mm,
I don't think you're quite at that stage.
not yet. Although I should set my watch to track my decibels so I can see if I'm just talking louder.
Mm.
Um, I probably am. I know that I've lost about 70% of my upper range. Or excuse me,
Gosh.
30% of my upper range. I'm running at about 70%.
Ah.
And when I was
So,
just a little kid, they said I had perfect pitch. Well, I'm sure that's gone.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't work
yeah,
with it, so
don't
I didn't
interrupt
use it. But
me. We have new chatters. We have Stubbing and Rosebud Atkins. So hello to you. And someone donated $2 to us. So thank you so much for that. And you receive a little thank you for that.
Thank you, Thunder Bing.
oh, thank you. Yeah, you deserve
Play
a
the
big
tape.
thank you. What an unusual sounding bird. Cute bird sound, but
Well, there's a question from Rosebud. She wants to know, are you sure it's an owl or is it Sasquatch? Because they make owl sounds in daylight.
considering how easy it is to see what's going on in this land here, I would say it's an owl. And it comes from the trees, unless they've got a Sasquatch climbing the trees. I think it's an owl. We have more birds of prey than anything else. I think we have the owl, and then there's a kestrel, an American kestrel that flew down at us twice one day. It'd get a surprise if it tried that now because I have that netting out there. I'm sure it can see the netting though. Their eyes are better than that. Well, their eyes are better. The hawks have a different kind of vision. They have long range. Um, stereoscopic vision for hunting, but obviously parrots see better than they do. But yeah, they have long range vision like a Huawei phone that you can't buy in the U.S. because the other phone makers don't want the competition. Um, yeah, they got amazing eyes too, but not like these guys. Now Cecil's the cutest thing Cecil does is, I think, is generally he plays with two toys at once. He's only using one toy right now, but generally he'll play with two toys or he'll make his own toys. That's wild to watch him do that. And he has a ton of cute behaviors. One of the things he does, and again, I reinforce the behaviors that I like to see. So if I see him playing with two toys, I will comment on it and tell him he's a good bird, which is a secondary reinforcer. It's not the food, but it's the social reinforcer. Bob, stay out of my pocket. Just don't give up, do you, boy? Mm-mm. Never give up. Never give in. The line from Galaxy Quest, right? Bob! Which he has seen that movie, so who knows? Haven't you? But he'll put his head around and he cocks his head around at a weird angle and looks up at you and with these big eyes while you pet him. And now it's incredibly cute. He's learned this behavior when I was trying to get him to stop nipping. Now he will come up and just paw me with his foot. Stop that! I don't pet you when you whack me on the head. You haven't learned that yet? Poor Mander. Sneaking up behind me and whacking me on the head. That does not get you petted. Bob, leave him alone. Come on, Bob, leave him alone. Come on. Come over here, Mander. Come on. Come here. Come on. Come on, Super Chicken. Come on. Oh, get closer to her. That's. Mm-hmm. You're well on your way to getting a PhD. Uh-huh. Walking by sugar. That's not one of your best maneuvers. Bob, leave him alone. Come here. I know you're just trying to protect me. I know. Get down here. Leave him alone. All right. Well, Lucy's cutest maneuver is where she shakes her head. She has an odd way of doing it. She like brings her head up and down like she's nodding. You've seen her do it, and that's one of her cutest little behaviors. She's a strong and stubborn girl, though. There are a lot of her behaviors were rather don't mess with me kind of behaviors. Lucy, I'm talking about you. Lucy, yeah, I'm talking about you. Uh huh. What? Me? Get out of my pocket. What are you laughing at? Are you chuckling at me? Are you chuckling? Yeah. You are? I know it's a game to you and you like doing it. I know. It's also fun to look at her when she's when you give her a little bit of popcorn. I don't give it to her very often. Once a week or so, you get a few pieces of popcorn. You put it in one of those popcorn holders, and she makes all kinds of funny faces until she gets the popcorn out of the popcorn box. Don't you lose? No, I think I'm going to get killed now. If Cecil had that, I'd be much more worried about it than I am with you having it. That was a perch in his cage at one time, and now it's a toy. But again, that's why it's good to make perches out of real wood in their cage that they can tear up, because otherwise it's just something to stand on and it doesn't have any other purpose. But and they can shape it to their feet. He just got tired of it and tore it off. But didn't you, Bob? There it goes. You lost it.
He's making quick work of it, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. He dropped it on the ground. He did. He chopped off a big piece and then it fell. I didn't do that. Now forget that. You're not going in my pocket. I could put a rubber snake in there or something. I wouldn't do that, but I don't know what he would do if he was trying to go in my pocket and there was a rubber snake in there. It probably wouldn't affect him because it wouldn't be warm. It wouldn't show that living things have some kind of body heat. But right, Bob? Right, Bob? Yeah, I know what you're trying to do there, kid, but I matter. Jasmine, I love it when if you catch her at the right time and you put her down on a cement she'll or anywhere actually, she'll start running around in circles. That's so cute to watch her do that. And she'll usually flap her wings and squawk. Jasmine, what are you laughing at? Now you can see the reason I can't have KK out here because when Bob's out, because Bob tends to monopolize my lap, and KK likes to sit there too. So it's just a point of contention. I can do it for short amounts of time. If I bring KK out, it might last 15 or 20 minutes. He comes out later with the boys, but trying to get KK to interact a little more with Snowball, but mostly he just interacts with Cecil. Bob, you're still chuckling at me. You have an odd sense of humor, boy. No, get out of my pocket. What are you doing? What are you doing? Pippa. Oh, good grief. call your name and you start sneezing? What's that all about? She's an amazing little girl. I really need to get a flight cage or a flight set up here where I can fly her more. Yeah, I just gonna have to put a harness on her and fly her in circles, but I'd like to have there's certainly enough room on this property to put a nice long flight cage on it. But what are you doing over there? Jasmine. Jasmine. Well, don't look at me like I'm on another planet. He's half asleep. Not gonna do a song. It's cute when she does her song. The one she started doing the day that Peaches passed away. That's just what everybody wants. This big face with these giant eyes looking at you. Yeah, that's what everybody wants, isn't it? Hmm. Yeah, Bob's a Triton, a sulfur crested Triton, and so is this little girl over there, the Pippa, the Pip. Bob, that paper makes noise when you grab it. I'm not deaf yet. Working on it. I'm working on it. Yeah, I know, Pippa. You do better in the house where there's plenty of humidity in the air, don't you? Although it's not that bad today as far as telling how you look at it. Stop it, Bob. Now you're trying to get the paper from outside. Don't do that. Nope. Don't stick the wood on it. You silly bird. Trying to shove my hoodie into the piece of wood. In the hole in the wood. Now he's chewed that off, though. I don't know about you, kid. Yeah, she does better with the humidity higher, and it is higher out here today. Let me see if yeah, it says 31%. That's high for us. It'll be somewhere in that area. Snowball has so many behaviors that are cute that it's hard to. It's a long list. If you take your head and you move it from side to side, he will go the opposite way. So if you move your head to the right, he will go the opposite, and he'll go to the right on his side, which means that you're keep displacing each other, and then eventually he'll fake you out, and then he'll stop. That'll be it. You know. And of course, he plays with frisbees, and he's great at hugging you. As long as there's no other birds around, get out of there, Bob. Stop it. You can't go in there. Leave it alone. No. 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 Stop it. Stop it. I have a feeling the second group's going to end up being inside because I can feel it's starting to get colder out here. So we'll be out here for another hour or so, and then we'll probably do the other birds in the other room. What are you doing? It's not supposed to be getting colder right now. But, oh, I see what it is. Now they're showing that the wind's kicking up, so I don't really see it yet, but we've got some winds moving, so it's making it colder. What are you doing? Stay out of there, you little monster. You little monster Bob. Monster Bob. Oh, he's clicking that toy now. He makes toys that make noise out of them, too. He's got it to make a noise. Now, so what are you doing? Stop with the pocket. Leave my pocket alone. Did you stuff a piece of wood in there, Bob? Good grief. There. This big sneak. Jasmine, she's acting like she's getting cold. Temperature's dropping and the wind is kicking up. That'll wind chill gets us out here sometimes. Another thing that Jasmine does that's fun to watch is the gymnastics. I've got some videos of that up there, but she'll just go somewhere and start flipping herself in all different kinds of directions. And she'll usually she'll find one she likes and she'll keep doing it for a while. I saw a video of some Australian birds doing that. Some sulfur cresteds. Get out of there. Greater sulfurs. They were sliding down a roof. They had some little piece of, I don't know, they were putting on the roof, and then they'd sit on it and slide down, and then go back to the top and do it again. They're trading off. They quite frequently work in pairs. It's funny how you can communicate with them. In the mornings, when I have to give medication, uh, Snowball will not. He won't take any treats or anything. He wants you to give him his medication. He wants to be taken out of the cage and held for a little bit. And you put him back in the cage, and then he looks at you, and he looks down, he looks at you. In other words, where are some more frisbees? And then you have to put frisbees on the side of his cage, and he grabs them and plays with them. And then later on, you can come back and give him a treat. But Bob, this is rare for you. You don't usually mess with pine cones. That wouldn't last a minute with Commander, that small pine cone. Get out of there. Babaloo. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, I know. The whole reason to try to have the pine cone there is so that you can get that piece of paper. I have one piece of the paper towel by itself sitting there for him to keep his attention on it. Right, Bob? What are you doing? What are you doing? I didn't say you could have that. Is it as much fun now that you've got it? Usually he doesn't play with them that long. There's a story by Franz Kafka that kind of applies to Bob. In the story, there's this guy who collects pencils, and every year he goes to the police station and steals a whole bunch of pencils. And then these are all unsharpened pencils. And then once they're sharpened, he throws them away. And the last line of the story is, "What good are sharpened pencils?" And that's pretty much how it is with Bob. He spends all this time trying to get in my pocket. He finally gets one piece of paper, and it's like, "Oh, okay, I'm done." So I'll put it back in my pocket. And we'll start the game over. Right, Bob? Come on. Come on up. Another game that Snowball plays, which is cute, is he'll make a sound and you have to duplicate it. So, and he'll go through a whole bunch of different sounds. It's like finds a sound you can't make, and then when you can't duplicate it, the game's over. So it's fun. He'll come up with all kinds of strange little sounds that he makes, and you have to duplicate them. And there's always one that I can't do it. It's just this. He'll find some sound I can't make, and then he kind of he stops and he looks at you like, "I won." It's good to remember these enduring behaviors of your parrots too, because when you're having one of those moments where you're having difficulties with a behavior, if you remember the good ones, then it helps. Got to keep the right frame of mind, right, Chug? Sugar? Is that right? Better ask Pippa. Pippa, is that right? Pippa, that's right? Pippa. Oh, she's ignoring me. Pip. Hi, Pip. Hi, Pippa. Hi, baby. That's right? Is that right? That's right? It is? Okay. If you say it's right, then it must be right. Yeah, when it starts to get a little chilly, I start worrying about Lucy, but she looks okay. She's got that bare chest, so get out of there. You're not going to get in there and get that. That's my hand warmer. No, you can't have it. Nope. I'm trying to pet her. Cut it out. Bob? No. Babaloo. They're out of my pocket. You got the screen all messed up. Stop it. Hey, Pippa. She is such a good girl. She's gotten used to being out here. She doesn't cause trouble now. Get out of my pocket. Would you leave my pocket alone for 5 minutes? Hey, I could put you down on the ground. You want to go on the cement? Bob, that's right, Babaloo. Hi, Pip. Hi, Pippa. That's that big Pippa face. There's the Pippa face. Hey, Pippa. All right, let me try using this hand. It's a little closer. Hi, Pip.
So we have a question from Sunderbing, writing to Bob, but I think it's probably the question is more to Don probably. Have you ever had a parrot whose behavior you couldn't get under control, so you had to send them off?
There was one that I sent off, that was before I took Dr. Zelig's course, because I couldn't stop her from attacking the other birds. She had a territoriality that spread out through the entire room. Now that I've taken Dr. Zelig's course, that wouldn't be the case. She's in a good place. She's well taken care of, and all that. But no, so technically I could have done it, but I didn't have the skill. So that's the only time I've done that. And I don't regret it because she's in a good place. She's all the way on the other side of the country, but she so much as sneezes once, and she goes to the vet. So, well, not quite that bad, but I mean, she's well taken care of. She gets her regular vet checks. She needs medication. She gets it every day at the right times and all that. That's been going on for years. So, but yeah, if you have the skill, you're not going to run into anybody that you can't really deal with. I mean, there are some birds that are pretty out of it. I've dealt with. Well, the worst one was Cecil, and you see how he is. I mean, he was almost not a bird when he came here. It was more like a porcelain fixture. Just he had no personality. He was so introverted that it took quite a while to get him to come out. But boy, did he come out! He's got all kinds of personality now. Once in a while, his face will glass over, and it'll remind me of that first day I saw him. But no, if you've taken the classes, you should be able to work with anyone. Um, Go back to that story of Dr. Friedman. Sorry, I did got a little too close there. Sorry, little girl. Dr. Friedman was, this will be the last story because we're almost out of time. She was at a rescue and they told her, the birds on this side, those are aggressive. You don't want to go in there with those birds. And then the birds on this side are not. So, but the woman told her rather quickly, and Dr. Friedman got it wrong. So she went into the room with all the birds that were, Bob, leave her alone. Come, don't you laugh. Get over here. You're not in charge of my lap. Get down. Come on. That's the problem with Bob. He wants to be in charge. Stop. He wants to be in charge of my lap, which is territoriality. It's not dominance. But so anyway, she went into the wrong room, and when the lady came back, here she was. Whoops. Where'd it go? Yeah, lost it there for a minute. She went into the room with the birds that were all supposed to be evil. And when the lady came back, she had a bird on each shoulder and one on each arm. And these were the birds that were supposed to be terrible, that bite and all that. So it taught her a lesson that you can work with every bird. There may be some that are so gone that you end up with like the ones that are mostly catatonic. They don't seem to do anything except try to keep you out of their cage. Um, I had an Amazon like that, and it only took 2 weeks to get him out into the aviary with everybody else. So learn the techniques, take Animal Training 101. You should be able to handle most situations. Well, thanks, guys, for being here. And
thanks for the stream, Don.
well, our pleasure, right, Bob? Mom says, I don't care. I'm preening.
Oh, you
You
are a
want to say
good boy.
goodbye over there? Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Eleanor.
And thanks, viewers, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Okay, everybody.
Hi. 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 Hi.